All right, what is up, everybody? Coming at you with this holiday Christmas special. I hope you guys are having a good Merry Christmas. I lost power yesterday for a bit. Luckily, I was able to get it back rather quickly. I know I had a buddy who didn't have water or electricity for like 8 hours on Christmas Eve. But yeah, mine was gone for like an hour, and it sucked because it was really dark. We couldn't see shit, so we had to immediately take out all the candles. We just killed time playing Uno. That was actually pretty fun. Um, what sucked was I think my dad and my brother was in the shower, and they had to like get out in the dark because it was, oh my god, it was a mess. But yeah, I heard even some people like I think it was American Airlines. Their flights got canceled, and yeah, man, it's all bad. On Christmas Eve too, it was like a movie. But luckily, we would enjoy Christmas and open up the presents around like midnight. I was fucking tired. I was about to knock out too. I think I was watching Polar Express. Yeah, those are my go-to. Like every year, those are my three go-tos. Elf, Polar Express, and The Grinch. I always watch those three for Christmas. So yeah, I think I might watch like Rudolph later on, or Home Alone, or the Mickey's, Frosty the Snowman, like little classics. But yeah, I got myself a bunch of clothes. I bought myself a bunch of clothes. My brothers got me like video games stuff, and my parents got me like shoes. So yeah, my shoes aren't here yet though. Fucking pricks didn't fucking get them shipped in time. The carriers, wherever, I don't know, if it's UPS or whatever, but they're backed up right now. I'm just happy I'm gonna get them before Christmas, after Christmas. I don't care as long as I get the gifts. That's all that matters. As long as I get them. And it was cool, eating having tamales, ham, pasta, uh, apple cider. What's that? Mashed potatoes, Hawaiian bread. Yeah, the usual like staples. No pie this year. No pie this time. Kind of wanted some pumpkin pie, something sweet. But yeah, hopefully you guys had a good Christmas. And on to this special. So, I mean, the biggest thing in the news from this week was, the government shutdown. And like I mentioned y'all last episode, this like there's like a one news story that dominates every week. So like 2 weeks ago was the shooter, Luigi, and he's back in the news this week because they fucking perp walked him, and that was yeah, they made a fucking scene of it. It was like a movie scene. And last week was the drones, and see the drones, all that shit gone. Like no one's even talking about it anymore. Because this week it was all the government shutdown, government shutdown, government shutdown, and it's like, bro, like I don't even pay attention to this shit because it's like, okay, well, I do, you know what I mean. I don't want to be like, unaware, but it's like, I've seen this play before. I've seen this. I've seen this story play out before. Um, because like the government shut down like twice, I think, in my lifetime. Like I think once under the Obama years, like in 2012, and then another time like in 2018, 2017. I forgot. Like yeah, with under Trump, and like basically like a bunch of government workers like just don't work for a while, and then like a few like government services aren't available for a while, and they'll close a few things early or outright, but for the most part, like shit still runs smoothly, and they just eventually come back with another bill, and what it seems like is going to be like January 20th, like around the time the new Congress is sworn in. So yeah, they'll come up with a new bill like after the holidays and shit, and by the time New Year starts, there'll be new stories, new memes, and it's just yeah. Yeah, but to I guess what I guess happened was they were trying to pass this bill, and the issues that people had with it was it has a lot of what's called pork. So, what happens is um, when someone passes a bill, it's not just a bill for like one thing. It has like 30 or 50 things in it. And so this is one of those bills. It was like 1,500 pages, and part of it included, I think, like what's it called, pay increase, other spending, and all this other shit. And so if you deny that, that's like a way for, like, when you're running for re-election, they're like, oh, they denied funding for housing or something, and it's like, well, no, I didn't really deny funding for housing. I denied the big ass bill that had like 30 different things in it, and yeah, housing was part of it, but that wasn't why I denied it. It was because there was 50 different things in it. And so that's kind of what happened. And then they came back with another bill, was like 150 or so pages, and then they still didn't know. And so then the government shut down, and nothing's really changed. It's been like a week now, almost a week, and they're all, it's holidays, the new year will come, and then they'll pass a new bill after that, probably with the new Congress. So that's great. But besides that, next topic, and that would be DC and the Superman trailer. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm seeing, for the most part, positive reactions from this, positive responses, and for the most part, positivity overall. Um, the negativity that I have seen have all been pretty much the same. It does look kind of cheap, but I think part of that has to do with the story they're telling. Um, it does look kind of crowded with characters for it being the first of this new DC universe, but it could. To me, it the feelings I got out of it was like a live action Justice League Unlimited, like those. I don't know if you guys ever saw those early 2000s Justice League cartoons. It reminds me of that, but live action. So with the uh, with them including all of these different characters like Guy Gardner, Hawk Girl, um, Metamorpho, Lex Luthor, Mr. Terrific. Like there's it's like, okay, like this is like a lived-in DC world where heroes already exist. These heroes are probably like corporatized or bought out or kind of not doing things the right way. And then here comes this new guy, Superman, who's from a fucking farm from Kansas, and he's just trying to be good in a world that sees truth, justice, and the American way, and that type of stuff is like corny. So it's kind of like meta. It is kind of like how, I guess, not, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like how a guy like Superman would come out nowadays. It's like, hey, like I'm just here to do the right thing. I'm not here to, like, do this for money or for clicks or for clout. I'm just, I'm here because I'm a Boy Scout. I'm just a good guy. I'm a friend, and and my suit sucks because my mom made it, and then all your guys' suit sucks because they're all like corporate um, mascots. You're like wearing a uniform for like fuck, I was gonna say like uh for like a laundromat. No, what is it called? A car wash. Like, you know what I mean? Like, where everyone's wearing like the same polo, but you know what I'm talking about. Because they all kind of have that same like white and black aesthetic to it. It's kind of like, but I do like the looks of the characters. To me, I like the way it's going. Oh, and then the other issues I see people talking about is, yeah, it's they kind of compare it to Man of Steel, and it's like Don't get me wrong. Like I actually like the Man of Steel movies. I like the Zack Snyder movies. The problem is most people didn't. Um, and the universe didn't work out. So we gotta kind of like move forward and move on, because if we don't, and if this fails, then I'm sorry, but it's pretty much wraps for DC and superheroes, like in general, because Marvel, they still have stories to tell, but it's never gonna reach the same heights as like the lead up to Endgame. Like, yeah, they're bringing back Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, they're bringing back Chris Evans. Yeah, they're doing Spider-Man 4, Doomsday, Secret Wars. They'll probably do a new cast of X-Men, but it's like there's not as many stories left to tell as what they previously had to play with. Don't get me wrong, like I still want to see, like, for example, Marvel Zombies. If they ever are able to do a proper Hulk film, they could do Midnight Suns. Like, there's a bunch that Marvel can still do. But as far as DC, because we're talking about DC right now, this is like their last chance. Like, if this flops, if this fails, this is pretty much a wrap. Like, we'll just get like a Batman movie every, like, few years, because Batman still makes money. So like the Batman 2 will come out, and then after that, who knows? So yeah, I mean, I do like the look of this guy, David Cornsway. I saw him in Pearl. I did not see the new Twisters. I'm just not really into disaster movies like that. But he was cool in Pearl. Um, Crypto looks cool. Yeah, I kind of wish he would have gone with like a Labrador, like a bigger lab dog, But dog's cool. Um, Mr. Terrific, I think, looks the best from these new characters. I do. I'm excited to see what they do with Guy Gardner's Green Lantern with Nathan Fillion. Um, I so his take on Lex Luthor is going to be interesting. And then Metal Morpho, I'm really interested in him too, because he could be, I feel like, the Groot character of this, because the way the costume looks is very Groot like. Um, is the face. And then Hawk Girl, I got to see what they do with her, because the way, I don't know, the way I'm used to her is from Justice League, and this costume is not. It's very corporate, like I'm saying. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think it looks good. Do I wish we could have got a Man of Steel 2 with like Henry Cavill, Supergirl, and Brainiac? Yeah, that would have been awesome. That probably would have been, ideal in an ideal world, but we don't live in that world. We live in the universe where DC, because Warner Brothers saw what Marvel was doing with the MCU and the Avengers. Because that shit came out, the Avengers came out the same year as Dark Knight Rises, and that shit made way more money than Dark Knight Rises. Not way, I mean, not way more, but it made more. And so they saw that, and they were like, "Hey, that's just like a group of, at the time, like B level superheroes." I think the Hulk was probably the most well known hero at the time from that team. And then we have Batman, who just Batman. So if we get our team of heroes and put them into a proper movie, we should just make as much money. That was their thought process, but they rushed it, and it shouldn't have been Batman versus Superman. It should have been Man of Steel 2, and then you could have put Batman in at the very end. Make your Wonder Woman solo movie. Make the Ben Affleck solo movie. Fuck, man, that's another thing I wish we would have got, was a fucking Ben Affleck solo movie. That would have been awesome. But we don't live in that universe, sadly. We got a cool Justice League though, with the Zack Snyder cut. That was pretty cool. 4 hours though. I don't know. I mean, it's not really rewatchable. I gotta get through 2 days of that. 2 days to watch that. But yeah, I mean, DC. Hmm. They have not had a good run lately, and I've seen them all as well. Let me see. Yeah, so the first one was Man of Steel, And honestly, that was actually a pretty good start. I liked it. It was like yeah, it had its problems, but you could have with every film you could build upon those problems and you know. So like the second film was Batman versus Superman. It should have been Batman and Superman at the very fucking it should have been Man of Steel too. Brainiac, Begins or something. I don't fucking know. But yeah, it should have been Man of Steel 2, and then at the very end, in the after credits, then you have Batman come in, and then you do your Wonder Woman film, which is what. Oh my god, dude, they did the Suicide Squad after that shit, dude. I don't know what the fuck happened with the Suicide Squad, dude. Because I mean, to this day, the fucking director, David Ayer, the wants to do the release the Ayer cut, and it's like, dude, like, I don't understand what is going on with this. I know you don't have the rights to your movie because Warner and other third parties do. But man, I remember the trailer to that first Suicide Squad. It looked good, and then after that, it just became like a fucking Hot Topic commercial, and I was like, dude, what the fuck is this? I remember watching that movie in the theaters. It was terrible. I think that's probably the worst DC movie to this day. It was just terrible. And then Wonder Woman after that, the first one. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not that big of a fan of it. I think it's like a low B, and that I would give Man of Steel like a high B or a solid B. But yeah, I think Wonder Woman was like a low B. But the thing was, at the time, that was like a hit for DC, and a lot of people liked Wonder Woman. I it's fine. Like the villain, not that good. The action's fine. It's just like yeah, the movie's it's fine. It's fine. Oh god, and then they did Justice League. That was a nail in the coffin right there. The Justice League, the 2 hour, like maybe 2.5 hour version of that shit. That shit was terrible. The villain sucked. Superman was walking around with CGI on his fucking face. They made Batman into like a bitch. It was yeah. They made the Flash annoying. They cut out all of the cool like epic moments in the beginning. They cut out all of Cyborg's backstory. It was just bad, man. It wasn't as bad as Suicide Squad, but it was bad. And then we have Aquaman, which is pretty good. Aquaman's pretty good, yeah. Like the way people praise Wonder Woman, I would give that praise to Aquaman. So I think Aquaman was actually pretty good. It's fun. Like it's just like a fun ride. It's not great, but it's like yeah, like it would be Man of Steel, high B, um, Aquaman, solid B, and then Wonder Woman, low B. Same with Shazam, low B. Like it was a fun movie. The first Shazam, it was a fun movie. Yeah, the kids. The main actor wasn't as annoying yet, and it was fine. It was fine. Oh God, this one goes downhill from here. The COVID year, man. Birds of Prey. Fuck. A Harley Quinn movie. Yeah, I mean, I remember. I think I saw this movie like one time, and it was that bad. I just remember it was just a bunch of like like girl like characters, and they couldn't do they really do anything. Like they were like trapped in like a building, and they ended with them trying to like escape, but like fighting out of it, like shooting and stuff. I think one of them had a bat, like an actual bat. Harley had like a mallet. Yeah, dude, this movie was fucking trash. Not as bad as Suicide Squad though. Not as bad as Suicide Squad. I think this one is though. The Wonder Woman 2. Yeah, that one. That one is. Yeah, that one's as bad as Suicide Squad. That shit was terrible. I remember watching that shit at home on Max the day it came out with my dad during COVID, and I fell asleep. It was that bad. I remember the cheetah lady was terrible. The new suit Wonder Woman had when she turned gold, she looked like Goldar from Power Rangers. Pedro Pascal like was playing like a genie. I think that was like his powers. He was like a genie. His powers were like, all right, like I'm gonna make you a wish, but it's gonna be in a way that you're gonna get it, but with like a twist. So it's like, oh, I wish for $1 million. Like, okay, okay, yeah, here's $1 million, but it's stolen from this bank, and now you're under arrest for 10 felonies. And it's like, okay, so it's not, and I'm not the biggest, like, I like Pedro Pascal, but not like in all these like roles he's getting. Nah, very specific roles for him, and that one was not it. Fuck, do I remember that part too, where she's like saving this like Afghan child from like or like Middle Eastern child from like a fucking from getting run over from like a tank. That shit was so fucking cringe. Oh my god, she was like swinging down, and you can like see the wires like carrying her. That shit was so bad. And then what? Shit. I think this is probably the best DC movie. Yeah, from DCEU. So like not counting Joker and stuff. Was The Suicide Squad. The movie's fantastic. I could watch that anytime. It's so fucking good. It's so funny. I loved it. Like pretty much the entire cast is fucking hilarious. Uh, Polka Dot Man and King Shark, I think, are my favorite. From the fucking John Cena, Idris Elba, fucking hilarious. It's a great film. I think that one, Man of Steel, and because I'm gonna count the Snyder cut and Batman vs Superman, the Ultimate Edition, the 3 hour cut. Both of those are better than what we got in theaters. But well, I would give the Snyder cut like a B plus, like a high B. Maybe nah, I'll give it A. Nah, high B just because of that rewatch factor. You can't rewatch that shit. But I would give the Suicide Squad an A, like an A minus, and then Man of Steel, yeah, like a high B. And then the cut of the ultimate cut of Batman vs Superman, probably, yeah, like a low B, because it kind of fixes you still get the Martha bullshit, and yeah, oh my gosh, and Superman dying in the second fucking movie, and oh my gosh, dude, Jesus fucking Christ, what the fuck were they doing? And yeah, then we got a bunch of just trash, like, okay, Black Adam was mid. It was like the most like 2000 superhero movie that's come out nowadays. It was very mid. I think we needed a fucking what's it called? Doctor Fate movie instead. Shit. And then that was the last time we ever saw Henry. I fucking saw him in theaters. I was there. Henry Cavill after credit scene. That was the last we ever saw of him. So sad. Shazam 2. I saw it on streaming. It was mid, straight to streaming movie. The Flash. Oh my god, dude. The Flash. I thought we were gonna get a kind of adaptation of Flashpoint Paradox. Nope. I got whatever the fuck that was. Like I would give all these like C's. Yeah, Blue Beetle C, Aquaman 2 C, like all these just C's. Like they were just like they made them and they're like, well, we're starting a new thing, but these are leftovers, so just release them and see what we can make for them. And they all flopped. All of them should have probably went straight to streaming. They're all terrible. So yeah, this is part of the reason why, like I mentioned, this is Superman's last hope. But in other news, something that's had a great success: Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I have yet to see them for myself, but I'm hearing fantastic things, rave reviews. It's let me see. From the 4-day weekend last week, it made over 70 mil domestically, and it beat out Mufasa, who I think got 35, around 35 mil. Yeah, around like 35. They do have more domestic. There's domestic numbers. They're kind of battling it out for worldwide because I know Sonic has yet to open worldwide, but it looks like Sonic 3 will win that. Yeah, I'm way more excited for Sonic 3. I mean, the first two were fun. The first one I think was like the most like, kind of the most annoying because he's very like quippy. Sonic, he has like a lot of like one-liners, like kind of like cringy jokes at times that are it's made for kids. Um, but what saves it is Jim Carrey as Dr. Eggman. And then in the second movie, they improve even more from the first because they bring in Tails, they fight Knuckles, and then they team up to fight Dr. Eggman. So I remember at the time Jim Carrey said he was retiring from acting, and so that was like going to be his last movie. So I was like, what the fuck? But then the third one, they brought out Keanu Reeves, Shadow. They brought back Knuckles. So I mean, I'm excited. I'm probably gonna go sometime this weekend, or like, yeah, during like New Year holiday weekend. Yeah, oh my gosh, dude, remember that fucking Lion King movie? I don't know how, like, I don't know how it made that much money back then. Like, 2019 was such a odd time, because I remember going to watch that one, the fucking the Lion King, and the whatever, not even live action one, and like it was like watching a fucking Discovery Planet movie. It was like, what the fuck, like. He was, yeah, in all ways just inferior to the first, to the original cartoon. Like, I might as well just rewatch the cartoon. Oh my god, it was like one of those where they hyped up so much. We're like, hey, you got to see this, you got to see this, and it's like, well, let's check it out. And I think because the marketing was like, hey, how would imagine you saw the Lion King, but like with Avatar graphics, and I guess that was like the selling point. Because this one is looks fucking trash. Like, what is it like? I heard it's. So to my understanding, Sonic 3, like I haven't seen it, right? And no, I haven't seen any spoilers. But to my understanding is basically um the three Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. They first fight Shadow. No, no, yeah, and then get their ass kicked, and then they need the help from Dr. Eggman to then beat Shadow, and then they do that, and then I'm pretty sure they team up at the end to fight Dr. Eggman. I don't know. Whereas Mufasa, it's like, okay, it's the backstory to Mufasa, and I guess he was adopted, and Scar was mean and wasn't bad, but bad things happened to him, and so that's why he's the way he is. And there are like white lions there, other lions that are evil. I don't fucking know. Oh my god. I fucking hope Sonic wins, man. I'm gonna watch that one and Nosferatu. Those are the two I'm be checking out for myself. Those are the two. Because man, I might watch Mufasa like when it goes to streaming, but I really want to see what Keanu Reeves does with Shadow. And I'm curious to do the Shadow backstory with Maria. If you guys know, if you know, you know. Oh, and there's even that Timothy Chalamet movie coming out, or he's playing Bob Dylan, the Bob Dylan biopic. So yeah, I might watch that one on streaming also. I definitely want to see Nosferatu in theaters though. That's like the one I want to see in theater. That one and Sonic 3. Even though I know Sonic 3 eventually will go on like Paramount Plus, but yeah, Robert Eggers. I'm a fan of his work. A fan of his work. But yeah, on to our next topic. Next topic, which is the college football playoff. So just a quick recap of last week's games. Yeah, if you guys saw the episode prior, I called the predicted, yeah, every winner. I knew Notre Dame was gonna win just because, for this is the common theme for a lot of these games. Okay, early on it's gonna be close because the teams are excited. They're hot. Like, oh, here we go, start of the game, blah blah. Blah. We gotta make a play. But around halftime, third quarter, the crowd gets, it starts to take over, and the team with the superior talent and execution is going to eventually takes over. And especially in these situations, in cold environments, at home where it's fucking loud as shit, Yeah, like I knew Notre Dame was going to win because of that. I knew Penn State was going to win because of that, and Texas. The one that surprised me the most was Ohio State and Tennessee. I didn't think Tennessee was going to get blown out like that. I thought Tennessee was going to keep it way closer, like one score, maybe by 10. But yeah, with all the other ones, I saw them all going beyond 10, at least by like after halftime, by the third quarter. And that's kind of what you saw in the Texas game. So Clemson, there was, they cut it down to one score, but then once it got late and the crowd's all into it, Texas is, they have superior talent. They just go run out, go for long touchdowns. So it's kind of, it's hard for, teams that are deserving to be there because of the amount of games that they won, but there are, I guess you could say, lesser talented programs because there's just smaller programs like SMU, Indiana. It's they're not going to be able to compete late in the game. Which is why, like, I don't know, a lot of people were talking shit. You see it a lot in the national media saying like, "Oh, they should have other teams in." Like, I heard Ole Miss, Alabama, South Carolina was being mentioned a lot, and like I understand what like why they mean that because ultimately they want to have like more, they want to see more competitive games. They want to see the highest talent against playing against each other. And then there's the other side of that argument, which is like, well, you shouldn't have lost all those games that you lost. Um, these other teams that went 11 wins, 10 wins, etc. They won their 12 wins, were winning their conference, etc. They should be the ones that are getting in because they're the ones that are doing what needs to be done. Uh, to get themselves in the best position to get into the playoff. And I see both sides, and then there's also the issue of like these big ass conferences nowadays where there's like 20 teams in a fucking conference, and it's like like it's you could play against like a top 10 team in one week and then like a bottom 10 team in the country the next. So it's like, okay, the parity is just that's the thing about college football. Like the parity in it has always been so large, and this year I really only see I want to like four teams winning it, and that would be now Georgia. We're gonna get into it in a bit. Before the playoffs started, I saw Georgia, Oregon, Ohio State, and Texas. Those are the four teams that I saw that had a realistic shot at actually winning it all. And now things are changing a bit because of injuries and certain situations, but that's my 2 cents on it. Ultimately, yeah, I agree with the people with, yeah, you wanna see the best teams, yeah, you wanna see the most competitive games, and I do agree with other people saying like, "Well, you gotta win your games, you gotta give it to people that, have the best resume, best record, best performance, did what they need to do." So it's tough situation, but that's the thing about college football. There's just a lot of parity in it, so you're gonna see a lot of blowouts in general, like you saw last week. Hopefully this week, you don't see that many blowouts. Let me see, because we got the games on New Year's, one game on New Year's, and three on the New Year's Day. I don't like the way they did that. I'm glad they gave Boise State and Penn State the Fiesta Bowl the night game, but it should have been two. They should have had like one at like 1:30, and the other one like at 4:30, 5. So like Eastern time. So that would have been like, yeah, like a one like at 4:30, another one at 7:30. So or like one uh like 30 minutes off. So like at 4, another one at 7:30. But here's what it is. On to my predictions. However, for this week's college football playoff, I'm gonna go ahead and predict Boise State winning the Fiesta Bowl. I do not think anybody should pick against Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl. They are undefeated, 3-0. If you guys haven't seen the highlight of, I think it was the 07-06 Fiesta Bowl, '07, when Boise State beat Oklahoma. Dude, that's probably like the greatest, like one of the, if not the greatest college football game ever. And I expect this game to be similar to that. Um, I think both teams can run the ball really well. I think both teams are able to make plays on defense, and I think we're going to see that kind of back and forth. Probably goes to overtime type of game. But I don't know. I just think Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl, I think they got it. And then the other three, I think Texas, yeah, similar. Luckily, it's in a neutral field, but yeah, I think Texas just has too much talent on both sides of the ball. Arizona State, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're playing really hot. They can run the ball really well, but I don't know. I think Texas plays one of the best teams in the country right now. And then as far as Ohio State and Oregon in the Rose Bowl, I think this is the best game of the weekend. I mean, Oregon barely beat them earlier this year. And Ohio State, man, they played so well last weekend. I want to go with Oregon here. Like, I really, really do, especially because they've had that extra week off and they're playing phenomenally right now. I think they have like the best receiver in the country. But Ohio State, man, yeah, I gotta go with Oregon on this one. I gotta go with Oregon here. I just think Oregon's a little this right here is gonna be the best game of the weekend. I cannot wait for this one. This should be the night game. Because I mean, yeah, Oregon, Ohio State. If they lose by like a field goal in overtime, I wouldn't be surprised. And if Ohio State wins, I wouldn't be surprised. It's one of those like flip a coin, that's who wins. Stack close. And as far as Notre Dame and Georgia, I gotta lean Notre Dame now, especially because Carson Beck is out, quarterback being out. Notre Dame's playing really good right now. I know Georgia's one of like the best teams and probably the most talented team in the country, but it's different without a starting quarterback. And Beck wasn't, he wasn't elite, but he did enough for them to, get him in that position to where they are. And Notre Dame, they can run the ball. They got a good defense. Quarterback isn't bad. But yeah, I think Notre Dame's got this one. I really do. I think Notre Dame has it. If this is gonna be one of those close ones too, one score games as well. The Penn State, Boise State one score game. Notre Dame, Georgia, one score game as well, and Ohio State, Oregon, one score game, but closer in that one, like a field goal. The other two would be like a touchdown difference. But man, these are really close games here. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Georgia won, if Ohio State won, or Penn State won. Like those, like they're all close. But I just think Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl, they got that. I think Oregon in the Rose Bowl with this much time off, with what they want to get to, I think they got it. And Notre Dame, just with that injuries that the Georgia, I think Notre Dame has it. I think they do. And Texas. And on to next topic, which was last week's NFL games. Oh boy. Oh dear. Which weren't bad actually. They're bad for my Saints. We got blew out on Monday night. I thought we were gonna do at least score 17. I thought we would lose 31-17, but didn't score any. What can you do? Rebuild mode. Hopefully they run it back next year and draft Arch Manning. I would love Arch Manning on the Saints. But yeah, just a quick little recap. Besides my Saints getting blown out, the Chargers, good win at home against the Broncos. That was a really good game. Really good. The Chiefs won. Man, I feel bad for Tank Dell getting his leg blown out like that. The Ravens won. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Steelers are very good. I think they're going to get eliminated first round. Their defense is very good and they can run the ball. And they're a playoff team, but I don't think they're one of the elite teams in the league. Falcons blew out the Giants. Yeah. Lions beat the Bears as they should. The Panthers, man. The freaking Panthers beating the Cardinals. That's insane, honestly. Not really, but I thought the Cardinals would have been fighting for their positioning a little bit more than what they were doing, but I knew the Panthers are been playing better. Rams beating the Jets. Yeah, the Jets are a little not what everybody was expecting, and the Rams are just playing for playoff positioning. And then the Commanders beating the Eagles. Best game of the day, man. Jaden Daniels, hats off to you, brother. Such a good game. Granted, yeah, Jalen Hurts did get hurt, but still great game to watch. And then yeah, Bengals took care of the Browns. Yeah, I mean they're fighting for their playoff spot. Mm. Colts won a pretty fun one at home. Jonathan Taylor went off. Good for him. Vikings won a pretty fun one on the road. That was fun too. Bills in a close one. That was yeah, 3-score game. I mean, 3 points, 1-score game, both of them. And the Raiders, man, that was hilarious. And then beating the fucking Jaguars. And the Dolphins taking care of the business. Yeah, Niners, man, their Super Bowl windows closed. The injuries caught up to them. Yeah. And then the Buccaneers. I can't believe the Buccaneers lost to the Cowboys. Man, if only the Falcons had lost to the Giants, because then we would have not been eliminated. This is my Saints, but it is what it is. So yeah, not the best week of football last week. Good, some good games. Ended up we had some good games, but overall not the best. Not the best week. Hopefully this week, week 17, we get a good one in our fantasy football finals for everybody that's in it. I made it into two of my finals. I lost last week by less than a point, and the week before that in another league by less than a point. So both of my losses have been less than a point so far in these fantasy playoffs. Those are the worst ones, honestly. I'd rather get blown out, but it is what it is. It's the game we play. Luckily, I made it to two finals, which is more than a lot of other people could say. So I'm in four leagues this year, and I made it to the finals in two of them. I made it to the final four in one of them, and I got eliminated first round in one of them. But at least they were all by under a point. What can you do? Well, on to this week. As of right now, yeah, the Chiefs already won. They already took care of business. Yeah, I was going to pick the Chiefs anyways. The Steelers aren't that good. Even at home, they're not as offensively. They're limited at quarterback, but they can run the ball and they have a good defense. So they'll make the playoffs. And then as far as the right now, the Ravens Texans game just started. I'm gonna take the Ravens on that one on the road. Yeah. And then tomorrow, Seattle should win, especially because they're fighting for their playoff positioning. But something tells me the Bears. Give me the Bears tomorrow at home. I don't know. Something about the Bears tells me they can sneak this one out. Because this is kind of like kind of their Super Bowl for the season. Mm, nah, yeah, give me the Seahawks. Yeah, because I feel like the way it's setting up, because they got to play the Rams the last week of the season, and that's going to dictate who gets that playoff spot. So yeah, give me the Seahawks. Seahawks. Chargers, same for the same reason. Even road team, for a playoff positioning, give me the Chargers. Even though I think they are pretty much have their seed locked intact for their spot, but still give me the Chargers. Bengals Broncos should be a close game, but give me the Bengals at home. And same thing, just because they're fighting for the playoff spot. Like I'm leaning towards these teams, like the Rams right here, like at home. Like these teams, they gotta win. Like if they don't, like they're pretty much out of it. Like I know the Broncos, they got a lot to fight for, but I think the Bengals are fighting for a little bit more, and they're at home, so that's why I'm leaning them in a close game. And then the Chargers, I think they're just better than the Patriots. Same with the Seahawks, and then just a little bit better, and because that extra push for fighting for the playoffs. Um, yeah, and then the Cardinals getting eliminated, Rams being at home. Yeah, night game, give me the Rams. Eagles, yeah, same reason over the Cowboys, playoff positioning, and the Cowboys aren't I don't. Eagles are dealing with injuries, but not as much as the Cowboys are, and as depleted a talent as they are. Ooh, I think the Buccaneers beat the Panthers, but in a close one. The Panthers are not the like that bottom feeder team they were. They used to be. They're gonna make the Tampa fight for it. The Bills should just take care of business against the Jets. Ooh, Colts Giants. Probably the Colts. I think there's offensively they're a lot better. The Giants defense is good. So they could keep it close, but the Giants, yeah. Oh my god, my Saints against the Raiders. I'm gonna just pick us to win by 3 because we're at home. No other analysis but that. I can see the Raiders win this game too. I think yeah. And the Titans Jaguars, yeah, oh my god, another trash. Give me the Titans just because they're I think that offensively they're a little bit better right now. The Dolphins Browns, oh my gosh. Dolphins Browns. I guess the Dolphins, yeah, offensively they're a lot better than what the Browns can do right now, and the amount of injuries and where the Browns are as an organization, yeah, I'd rather be the Dolphins, and that's not saying much. Ooh, Packers Vikings, probably the best game of the day, a true pick 'em. I think either team can win this game, but I'm just gonna go with the Vikings at home by 3. I think whoever wins this game is gonna be by a field goal, and I just think the Vikings just because they're at home. But I could see either team winning. And for the night game, the Commanders versus the Falcons at home. Yeah, give me the Commanders. I think Falcons defense can keep it close, and their ability to run the ball keep it close. But I think the Commanders defense and Jaden Daniels playing too good right now. Give me the Commanders. Take command. And the last one, yeah, Lions just take care of business. So yeah, that's it for as far as NFL Week 17 is concerned. Most of the games feel okay. There's some good juicy matchups like the Falcons, Commanders, Packers, Vikings, Broncos, Bengals. But for the most part, yeah, it's not looking like another great week of football. Hopefully the games are good though. On paper, they don't look great, but hopefully the games when they're played out are great. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Sorry to cut this one out a little short this week, but I'm gonna get going, get back to Christmas, get back to watching some football. The Texans game just started, so gonna see if my Ravens prediction is true or pans out, and get back to eating some more food. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Catch you guys next time, okay? See ya. Merry Christmas.